Hello lovely people, today we will be looking at a UMIK-2 measuring microphone and we're going to compare it to the UMIK-1. Before we start, I would like to thank, if I knew the name of the person who I should thank, I would say thank you. However, I'm going to say thank you to MINIDSP for sponsoring the channel and providing me UMIK-2 measuring microphone for basically all the future tunes and all the future experiments that I'm gonna do with it. MINIDSP UMIK-1 is probably the microphone that everybody knows and everybody recommends. It is very cheap, it costs under $100, in UK it's close to £100, and it's a very good beginner's microphone. So it is a USB microphone that has 48 kilohertz sampling rate. Now these measuring microphones, they are calibrated, so they do have a 0° and 90° calibration file, and if you go on to MINIDSP website and you enter this unique number for every microphone, you can download those files and use it with any RTA program that you're using. Now this is the UMIK-1, which I bought secondhand and I used it for a number of years, and it's perfectly good, it's fine, there's nothing wrong with it. I contacted MINIDSP and I was like, would you like to support my channel and give me a new microphone? And they said yes. So this is UMIK-2 and we're gonna see how these microphones are different and is it worth to pay extra for the UMIK-2. So UMIK-2 costs a little bit more than double of the UMIK-1 price. It's close to $200 and about 220 to 250 pounds in the UK. The main difference between these microphones, obviously from the visual stuff, that is a different color, so you would differentiate. There is a number 2 there. Then exactly the same, you have a barcode, you have a number where you can download 0 and 90° calibration files. Now, this microphone is different, it's very different. In the specs, we can see that it is 32-bit and up to 192 kilohertz sampling rate. So these USB microphones, and not necessarily these, the Dayton as well has a few of them. Inside this little thing, there is an audio interface, an audio card. Here is just the capsule that's actually taking the measurements, and all the processing and everything is happening here. So you can see that it's not a lot of space. However, with today's technology, audio cards are tiny. So they did manage to cram in this a 192 sampling rate sound card. Now, what does it mean? It means that if you remember my tweeter test, to test a tweeter above 20K, if I wanted to see like where is the beryllium cone breakup or how AMTs measure and that kind of stuff, I used to use an XLR microphone with a Scarlett interface that would allow me to measure above 20K, because this one measures only up to 20K. However, the UMIK-2 can measure up to potentially 100 kilohertz, so up to 50K. If you use 96 kilohertz sampling rate, you can measure tweeters above 20K with it, which is amazing because USB microphone as a plug-and-play solution, there's nothing better than this. If you're using an audio interface, obviously there's going to be some extra wires, there's an extra box that you have to put somewhere. In a home environment, it might not be a problem. However, in a car, when you tune a car, a USB microphone, it's amazing. So let's have a look at the differences between UMIK-1 and UMIK-2. Apart from the color, the weight is slightly different. I feel that the UMIK-2 is slightly heavier. I didn't put it on the scale, but in the hand, because I did use it already, I tuned a few cars with it, and it does feel a little bit more heavier. The other difference is the actual capsule. So these capsules are very, very different. The UMIK-2 has a much bigger capsule, and it is better because bigger is better. Now, I didn't go into very, very small details why this capsule is better. However, you can see the difference. Like this one, it's only this black circle is the capsule, and these are just notches. They're supposed to do something with the diffraction of the sound, but to be honest, I'm not really sure what they do. However, this one, the UMIK-2, this whole, you can see the golden thingy. This is a whole big massive capsule. Now, one piece of advice, whenever you're handling any kind of microphone, even if it's a cheap one, you have to handle it with care, because these capsules that are inside, they're extremely sensitive to shock. So if you drop a microphone, you can literally break the capsule or somehow damage it, and it's not going to measure nice. The other difference between these two microphones is the USB port. So this one has, I think it's a mini USB or whatever it's called, is the same like Helix uses on their DSPs, and this is a USB-C. So I do like USB-C because we have those cables all over the place. Talking about cables, what I did for the UMIK-1 when I bought it, the cable that came inside the box, I binned it because I needed something a bit more malleable, a bit softer cable, so it wouldn't be as stiff, because that cable was stiff for me. This cable in the box with a UMIK-2, it's very soft. So probably this is one of the things that nobody even thinks about or considers that it can be an issue. But when you're sitting in a car, you want a cable to be as flexible as possible so it wouldn't go anywhere. So this cable is very flexible, and I do really like that. Other than that, the most important probably thing is, how do these microphones measure, and do they measure differently? Now, I didn't check it yet, but I will plan to do that. However, again, disclaimer that this is probably 5 years old and it was dropped at least a few times. So if there's going to be any discrepancies in the measurement, I will 100% trust the UMIK-2 compared to the UMIK-1. Now, some people say, especially Nick Apicella, that the UMIK-1 is unreliable and the calibration kind of fails, wears off, or the diaphragm or whatever after like a year or 2 or years of use. And the UMIK-2 is a much more reliable tool that will last you much longer, and it's not going to lose its calibration. You can recalibrate any microphone if you're going to send it to the lab. I think a company in Germany does it. Like if you pay like 150 euros, you send the microphone and they calibrate it for you, and they send you the microphone back and the calibration files as well. But this thing, it should last ages. Obviously, if I'm not gonna drop it, but I'm gonna try to be extremely careful with it. So this is a quick overview. Now the question is, which one should you buy? Should you go for a UMIK-1 or should you go for a UMIK-2? If you're just beginning and you don't know if you're gonna tune for long or you just wanna try, go for a UMIK-1. It's a very cheap, especially if you can find it used. People that buy microphones, they don't abuse them, they don't drop them on the floor on purpose, so it will be fine. I wouldn't worry about that at all. And yeah, just buy a UMIK-1, because why not? Now, if you're more serious, if you want a tool that will last you longer and you could potentially do more with it, like for example measure tweeters up to 50k or whatever, if you're experimenting, if you want just a little bit more from your tool, get a UMIK-2, because why not? I wanted to buy it literally because I just wanted to upgrade, and for convenience to me, just take a USB cable, plug into laptop, and you can measure everything straight away instead of messing with the audio interfaces and XLR cables and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, again, MINIDSP. Thank you very much. From now on, all the measurements, all the tuning and everything will be done with this lovely UMIK-2 microphone with this massive capsule. And I am very interested what you use for measuring. If you have a measuring microphone, please pop it in the comments. Which one is it? Is it a Dayton? Is it a Behringer or something else? And yeah, let's have some fun. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.